As I continue to catch up with some films I saw but haven't been able to review yet because of the countdown, I finally got to see the Scott Cooper, Nick Antosca, and Guillermo del Toro joint, Antlers, after over a year's anticipation and hype. Let's see if it lived up to all that buzz or not. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Antlers is new in theaters from Fox Searchlight. It's directed by Scott Cooper, written by Nick Antosca, Henry Chaisson, and Scott Cooper. Kerry Russell plays Julia, a teacher who grows concerned about her student named Lucas, played by Jeremy T. Thomas, who is withdrawn, picked on, telling bizarre stories in class, and drawing disturbing images. Approaching her brother Paul, played by Jesse Plemons, who happens to be the sheriff of the small Oregon town, Julia is frustrated when her concerns are not taken seriously. But when a school counselor and a few kids go missing, the law gets involved. Turns out Lucas is hiding a secret. He's feeding roadkill to his father, played by Scott Hayes, who has been infected by the demonic force of the Wendigo, an evil spirit from Native American folklore. While Antlers can be enjoyed as a simple creature feature, what makes it so enthralling is the rich metaphor it contains involving the opioid epidemic plaguing much of the country. Gnashing teeth and pointy claws aside, the plight of Lucas is similar to many children of parents addicted to drugs, attempting to go on with their lives in public while bearing the unnecessary burden of taking care of a family at a very young age. Jeremy T. Thomas does a fantastic job of playing an insecure, overburdened, and deeply scarred little boy. Through his slumped shoulders, downward stare, and unwashed exterior, Thomas plays Lucas as a boy who seems to simply want to disappear. This is a heartbreaking performance, and some key scenes really illustrate the palpable horrors he experiences. Throughout the movie, drugs seem to be on the tip of everyone's tongue when questioning Lucas's problems. It's the conclusion everyone comes to, given the father's past issues with criminal drug activity and the state the world is in at the moment. The legend of the Wendigo itself is a rich allegory for an all-encompassing hunger, not unlike the need for drugs. These are parallels filmmaker Scott Cooper and writer Nick Antosca and Henry Chaisson recognize and drive home very well. But Antlers never forgets it's a monster movie, and is filled with wonderful monster effects, from the bloody horror of the early parts of the transformation of Lucas's father, where his body is literally rotting and burning up from the inside, to the final metamorphosis into a beast made of claws, teeth, jutting bones, and antlers. This film has a memorable and nightmarish monster at its center. This is a big budgeter, and much of the monster effects are CG, which all look good and well integrated into the scenes, but there are a lot of practical effects used, giving real-world weight to the horrors. Director Scott Cooper, who made his name directing character-centric dramas with Crazy Heart, Out of the Furnace, Hostiles, and Black Mass, proves himself capable of setting up some great scenes of horror spectacle as well as some very heart-wrenching moments of tension. While he wouldn't have been the first person I thought of to make this kind of film, Cooper really does deliver a great-looking movie, but remembers to drench Antlers with powerful human moments. It helps that these moments of humanity are brought to life by the soulful eyes of Kerry Russell. With Julia, Russell manages to bring to life a woman tormented by a past filled with abuse and addiction herself. There are a few scenes where Julia gets righteous in the way she wants to save Lucas from whatever it is that is victimizing him, but for the most part, her struggle is shown in some well-placed moments where she is tempted to go back to the bottle to wash away her problems. Julia sees herself in Lucas, and without shouting it in our faces, the message is communicated clearly through her performance and the looks on her face. Antlers sports an impressive supporting cast. Jesse Plemons kind of plays the part he always does, as the likable, clueless oaf, but is given some poignant moments with Russell. He fares better than Graham Greene, who simply seems to be the only one around providing the Native American voice to a Native American legend. Amy Madigan has a very small part to play, and Rory Cochrane is wasted as he only has a few lines of dialogue and seems only to be there to raise the body count. Antlers pulls no punches and doesn't deliver the happy ending one might expect from a big-budget film. I love the dark overtones that seems to be brewing just before the credits roll. I don't think we need a sequel to the film, but I think if the story is handled as deftly and thoughtfully as this one, I wouldn't mind it. I think if there is a downside to Antlers, it's not its fault. The film feels like it's been advertised to be coming soon for years because it has. I'm glad the folks at Fox Searchlight held back and gave it a theatrical release, but Antlers had so much time to garner anticipation that I fear a lot of people will leave it disappointed. Still, with 2 years of positive hype behind it, I feel a lot of people were building it up to be the next true classic in horror. I was looking forward to seeing it, but after doing so, I started thinking about the next film I wanted to watch. But that's unfair. It's not the best monster movie, but it's a good monster movie. A lot of the monster stuff has been approached before in films like Wendigo, Ravenous, The Ritual, and other smaller budgeted films about the Native American legends. But it is a well-produced film that delivers strong scares, great effects, thematic heft, and characters worth investing in. I'm interested in seeing how Antlers ages, as I feel it will be much more appreciated the further away it gets from the frequent delays and false starts concerning its release. That'll be it for today. Please chime in down below in the comments and let me know how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. So guys, you know how YouTube works. I'd love to be able to dedicate more time to this channel. I'm not monetized yet, so if you want to help me out, remember to hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below. Want some spooky comics to read? I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look out for. Both Gravetrancers and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book shops. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on my website, mlmillerwrites.com. If you really want to show your support, I also have a Patreon page at mlmiller. Look for the link to my Patreon page down below. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. God doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside